During this month, when the theme is renewing faith, we're all invited to reflect on our inner spiritual lives. Is there faith within your own heart? Is there a faith that would benefit from being renewed? Some of us may feel that the idea of renewing faith presumes that we have or had faith to begin with, when we may not feel at all faithful. In fact, something that many Unitarian Universalists have in common is that it's typical for us to have a personal history of losing faith at some point. Many of us have shrugged off the faith of our parents, and even if you grew up you've certainly doubted the faith that is mainstream Christianity in the United States today. As the UU bumper sticker goes, we will question all of your answers. We tend to be people of lifelong seeking. So where is the faith in that, and how do we even begin to renew it? The meditation that Anastasia read a few minutes ago was a poem by the Christian writer Jan Richardson. And Jan Richardson has said that she wrote that lovely blessing to go along with the story of Jesus' journey into the wilderness, into the desert. So you might be familiar with the story. In the Bible, the first things Jesus does after being born and then skipping ahead 30 years, in the Jesus story, the first things that happen when he's about 30 years old is before he goes around healing people, he gets baptized by John the Baptist, and then he immediately goes off into the desert and wanders around being tempted by the devil, and the devil tries him and gives him tests, and he passes the tests. So as the story goes, at the moment of Jesus' baptism, a voice from above had called Jesus the name Beloved. So in the poem, "Do not leave without hearing who you are," Jan Richardson is saying, she's saying that we are all named Beloved. She's talking to you and to me, and reminding us that in the biblical baptism of Jesus, he's standing in place for all of us. Modern American Christianity places a lot of emphasis on the idea that Jesus stood in for us when he was killed. So why wouldn't he have stood in for us when he was called Beloved by the Creator? Whatever feels right to you and resonates to you, I feel pretty sure that we are all beloved. And especially during our moments of transition and journey, there's a connection here with this story. This is why Jan Richardson, the poet, brings it up, and this is why I bring it up today. This story of Jesus where he's called Beloved, and then he goes out into the wilderness. It's a time of transition and a time of journey, and we're all in a time of transition and a time of journey right now. I am coming to you by video because I'm traveling, and I'm discerning where the next step in my ministry will be. And you, Southwest UU, as part of a congregation who is on a journey, the time of wilderness, the wilderness of discernment. And the wilderness of discernment is the place where our faith is tested. It is the place where faith is lost and stretched and bent, where faith learns to bend so that it doesn't break. You may feel yourself losing faith sometimes, especially recently. Faith in your government, faith in me, faith in this place, or in SWUU, or in yourself. And that's okay. Although it doesn't feel good to be losing our faith, it's normal. It's to be expected while you are wandering in the wilderness and discerning who you are and what your next steps will be. And in this poem, we're warned not to enter into the desert without taking your name, Beloved, with you. This is essential. She says, I cannot promise this blessing will free you from danger, from fear, from hunger or thirst, from the scorching of the sun or the fall of the night. Going into the desert, going into this time of transition and change is fraught with danger and fear. Deep transition, fundamental change is scary. The sort of transition required for survival that takes us apart and reassembles us on the other side of our journey through the desert teaches us who we truly are. And one of the greatest challenges that face us during this journey can be to claim that name, to live into the faith that we are, in fact, beloved. Because it does take faith. It requires an audacious daring to claim our birthright as beloved. We live in a culture that obscures this memory, the connection we have to our deeply, dearly beloved self. The UU minister Rebecca Ann Parker wrote, "There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in that love." And I just think this is the best description of God I have ever heard. There is a love holding us. That's it. No rules, no guilt, no man on a cloud, no arguing over his name, whether it's Elohim or Allah or Yahweh or what have you, no clear shape or form at all, not necessarily a being that is separate from you, just a love. There is a love holding us, and therefore we are by our nature beloved. Beloved is what we are before any other attribute. And when all is said and done, when the chips are down and life is over, when you strip away every other adjective you give yourself, when I strip away every way that I identify myself as a woman, as a mother, as an American, as a nice person, or as a selfish person, if I take all of that away, what am I deeply and truly at my core without my body, without my relationships, without my experiences? What am I? Who am I? I am beloved. You are beloved. That is your true self, your real name. The first name you were ever given and the thread that connects us all, beloved. And beloved, there is a love holding you. And there is a love holding all that you love, including this congregation. I assure you, there is a love holding this congregation, this sanctuary, this building. And as you enter into your time in the desert, I know that you are held in a love that, as this part of the scripture says, will hold you up and not let you dash your foot against a stone. And if you can't muster up that faith right now, it's okay. If you can't feel yourself as beloved or don't trust that you will be held by a love, that's okay. If it was obvious, if it was certain, if it was as clear as my hand in front of my face, then it wouldn't be faith. Faith is a communal thing, and we rely on one another's faith. As UU minister Victoria Safford has said, faith feels like the most intimate and private thing between you and your God, you and your heart, alone in your bed in the dark, alone in your life. It feels like the most private and solitary thing, but it is not. It's communal and contagious. Faith is what our hands hold all together when none of us is strong enough to hold on by ourselves. Our new SWUU class begins in a couple of weeks. And these are classes for anyone who is interested in learning a little bit more about who we are and what we do here, whether you're thinking of joining our congregation as a member or just hanging around as a friend. Everyone's invited to these classes, whether this is your first Sunday with us or you've been with us for years. So ask Susan Paxson for more information on the classes. But one of the things we're going to talk about in the new SWUU class will be that communal faith is inherent to our denominational tradition. You will hear me say that SWUU celebrate diversity not just because we affirm freedom of belief, but because we believe that we need each other's diversity to perceive the whole. Our message isn't just we accept your unique journeys and beliefs, but we need them. Bring your faith, your broken faith, your strange or odd faith. Bring your lack of faith. Bring that black hole where your faith used to be. Bring your wacky or unusual faith. We need it all here. Let us never forget that we are all named beloved, because deep down we are all held by a love that holds all that we love, absolutely all of it. And we rest in that love. And now, our closing hymn, Answering the Call of Love.